Hello, welcome back. Last time I implemented a random access memory node. Today I'm down to just one single puzzle, so barring any surprises, I think I'm going to get this game done today. Let's see what's in store for me in here. This little spike kind of worries me a little bit. Also makes me think this won't be totally trivial like the stored image decoder was. Also, I'm going to be opening this portal that those people are talking about, apparently. I'm like doing the opposite of what I'm supposed to do, but that's what's happening. Nothing here. No debug messages, just regular nodes. Read from 1 through 4. For each input, add the value to the input's previous values. Write the input number with the greatest total sum to out. For a tie, write the lower input. What? Sum with the previous values. Write the input's number with the greatest total sum. For a tie, write the lower input. Write the lower input. What are you saying? Add the value to the input's previous values. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7. Does never go that high. For each input, add the value to the input's previous values. Write the input number with the greatest total sum. For a tie, write the lower input. Got it. Okay, so for the lower index, not the lower total value. Okay, now I understand. So I'm outputting indexes. So this is a tie. 1 and 3 are the greatest, so I want to write the lowest one, which is 1. 3 is then the greatest. 1 and 4 are tied. Then 1 is the greatest. 2 and 4 are... Okay, I got it. I made sense of it. All right, so each one of these needs to keep track of its current value. Probably want to do that in all of those places. So you all have your current value in your front buffer. Then, all of those need to be reported. There was a... wasn't there a puzzle kind of like this that had to, like, compare its... Will I recognize it by name? It wasn't this, was it? No. There was something of a similar format to this. Normalizer? No. No, not sequence. Signal prescaler. Averager? Sub-maximum selector. No, shoot. Whoops. Watch where you click. Okay. Well, I made a small mistake. Don't worry about it. Let's see the startup sequence of this game again. Anyway, I was trying to find, was it sub-maximum selector? Yeah, that's the one. That's the one made entirely of move commands, the one I hated my solution so much for. Okay, so let's not look at this. Right, okay, so see, return to segment list is the bottom item on this list. I accidentally pressed escape and then thought, oh hey, there's a pop-up. This looks familiar. I want to click the bottom item on this list. And then that's how that happened, I think. Okay, so let's not look at the past, because I don't like the way the past looked. Let's look at the future. For each input, add the values. Okay, done. Write the input number with the greatest total sum to out. Okay, so I need to compare. Let's sort of collapse these inward. So you're going to save and sub left. You're going to so if if after subtracting left you still have a positive number, then... Okay, if you have 0 or a negative number, then you want to move 1 down. Otherwise, move 2 down. Right? You will want to also swap that back in there after you've saved it. Yes, okay, that looks reasonable. Okay, and then do something similar here. Why don't I just copy paste? Sub-right, jigs higher. Now in this case, I'm doing it the other way around. You want this. So if you've subtracted the right one and ended up with something 0 or more, then you want to move 3 down. Otherwise, you want to move 4 down. Okay. So then these two nodes will receive those values. Problem is, don't these need to communicate to each other? Yeah, remember, this is already turning kind of similar to oh, hang on. No, this is fine. Oh, actually, so they both want to swap, but in this case, okay, so so you're going to first send the index of which of these two was the greater value, the higher priority one, then also send the current status of the thingy. Okay, this should be fine. So yeah, you move that twice. You either move it down if you are the index, or you move it to nil, which I didn't get to do. Move it to nil and move that down. Looks fine. Let's do it in this order just so that you get less starved. Okay. So then you'll do basically the same thing. You know, I did some work there. Let's not invalidate that work. So I want this to have a move right down. This is jump loop, this is swap, this is loop. Move 2 down, swap, move back down, move right nil. Sounds reasonable so far. Okay, you won't need to know what the value is beyond that. No, wait, right, so you don't even need to hold on to this. Move up, ACK, move up right, move ACK right. Okay, so then you will do the actual work. Let's switch those because the output is here. Okay, move up, ACK, move up left, move ACK left. So you read the index. you move around the actual value. And then you're going to either write this index or move it to nil. And if you do that, then, okay, yeah, this makes sense. So right, I'm just doing a further down the chain comparison, and this comparison needs to be slightly different from these because I'm reading both an index instead of just knowing what it is with these values. Both an index and an accumulated value. Okay. So this puzzle's not going to be too bad. I think I'm almost done, actually. So sub-right. Okay, so the result is if I'm on the left and I want to prioritize left, then jugs higher. Yeah, so this will look very similar to this. If it is the left which is happening, then I'm going to move up, down. You just move up, down. Yeah, I think I am almost done. So, move right, nil, and then you're done, right? So if higher, then move right, down. You know what? I have space. I'm going to put it on a new line. Yeah, I'm done, right? Am I? No, because my output's wrong. But I made an attempt at something. Am I just prioritizing the wrong way around or something? Jugs higher. Oh, yeah, I have these reversed. So what I want is the other way around. Okay. Still wrong. All right, so what happens? So you all added. Hang on, so index comes first. That's the problem. I'm operating on the index instead of the actual value. Whoops. Well, you know what? I can reverse that. Sure. Okay, so actual value comes first. Oh, well, look at that. Okay. So you take a value from here. You subtract the value that comes in there. That's the first one. Then, if your value is... No, wait, this shouldn't be that, should it? I feel like I have some things wrong here. Yeah, this is equivalent to this, not this, because these two are a pair, this is the right side. These two are a pair, this is the left side. These two are a pair, this is the left side, even though it's aligned with the right side of this. Okay, so that's why this looks wrong. I had a few problems. Okay, so in that case, I did just reverse these a moment ago, and that's why they needed to be reversed. Do they need to be reversed again? Okay, so if you are the left side, you're subbing right, JLZ lower. Yeah, I mean... This looks wrong. It is wrong. You're supposed to be like that. Because if this is passing on, then that's index 4, not 3. Okay, so that was one problem. So the... Okay, again, you're the left side. the higher priority one. So in terms of a tie, you win, you lose. If you subtract right, yeah, it's only if this is greater that you will want, yeah, this is backward again, that to happen. Okay, and if it's less, then you take this one, and yeah, you don't care what the what this index is. You just discard it. Okay, I think I'm done now. Really? Still? Really still? How still? Okay, so let's understand. You have taken a 1, which is the value of this. You're going to subtract presumably a... what? 0? Oh yeah, this 0. Wait, is this backward just like that was backward? Yeah, because I had the wrong index there, but no. Okay, one more time. So you have a higher priority than this. It is only if this is greater than this value that you want to pass on the value from over here. So when you subtract this, if you end up with a number less than 0, then you do want to pass on the 4. So yeah, you want to do this. And that's a 3. Okay, so I did have those reversed. Okay. Still wrong. Okay, so seems like I have a bunch of errors that have subtle implications. All right, so what's going on here? So you've done one successfully. You're waiting for an output of 3. Your states are 1, 0, 2, 1. 1, 0, 2, 1. Yeah, that's what those sum to. So you sub left. You're going to sub right. Jugs false, Jules false. So in this case, left wins. And in this case, left wins. Correct. So my problem is downstream from here. Hold on. Oh, my swap. My swap. My swap, my swap, my swap. I'm supposed to swap before I do this. Don't think... No, hold up. Okay, so you save, then you sub, then you go to lower, then you need a swap. Does that make sense? So you're keeping your saved value. You sub right, which is destructive. You have saved before that. You don't ever care about the value of this except for this branch. That's the only time. So immediately upon that, you really just want to swap back. I'm only doing this swap late here because I want to not starve this, and I can just move the values right away because I don't need access to the ACK here, but I need it immediately, so I do the swap first. Okay. This all looks sensible. Oh, and now it... so it's better, but it's still wrong. Do I have a similar problem here? Probably. Maybe. But this is different. Swap, move back down. Yeah, so this is higher, which is different from lower. Just follows a different set of logic. Okay, so let's look over this. Hang on, so where's my first problem? It comes on this row. I output 3 on the 5th, when it's supposed to be 2. So either you're reporting incorrectly, causing this to think that wins, or you're comparing incorrectly, causing this to think that side wins when this one is supposed to. So are you reporting correctly? On the row that outputs 5, which is this upcoming one, or it doesn't output 5, the 5th row, the row that outputs 3. So this is supposed to be 2, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so 2, 3, 2, 3. Wait, you're getting a 3 in that case? That's super wrong. In no case should you be getting yeah, in 3 only has a value of 2. See? 2. Okay, so that sounds like a problem. So it's the first time you're supposed to output a 2. Okay, so what are you doing? So you save your 3. That's your accumulated value of node number 2. This puzzle actually seems just right. This is not super huge. This is not super tiny and trivial. It's a little bit of a challenge. It's turned into a debugging challenge. Because, like, I think my overall approach is right. I just have some fiddly details wrong, and fiddly details are super important for something like this. So you subtracted that. Yeah, you subtracted a value of 2 and ended up with 1. That makes complete sense. You go to higher because you are the higher one. You want to swap, get that 3 out, and move it down. Seems correct. So that 3 is your the higher value of these two nodes. Yes. Okay, so you receive the 3. You are trying to write a 4. Is this misaligned? No, I mean this is just moving on. That's going to block an output in just a moment. 1, 2, 3. You don't have 4. Or wait, no, it is 4. Well, no, that's for that row. Wait, is this just behind? Are you out of sync? Sub right. Are you out of sync? Move right nil. Move right down. Looks like it should be synchronized. But hang on, but you write 3. Why would you write 3? Why was that a 4? No, 4 makes sense, but why? How did you manage to write 3? What happened? I'm confused. So get me to a known good state. You've accumulated 2. This is waiting to send that one. Okay, yeah, so 0, 1, 0, 1. 0, 1, 0, 1. This comes through correctly. When you unblock, so you've added up, you have 2, you're going to add up, you get 3. You'll add up, you get 2. You'll add up and you'll get 3. So 2, 3, 2, 3 is the state of the sums right now. What should be output is 2. What is output makes no sense. How can you possibly be outputting 3? Something is very wrong here. So you are reporting. Now I have these in the right order. Everything's in this. No, it's not. There we go. There's my problem. I had reversed. Oops, right. Okay, so can't fit that line there. I just had the one index being sent before the actual value. There we go. And that explains why the error frequency was low. Okay, get ready for something crazy to happen. Some kind of portal is going to open and suck me in. Probably. That's my guess. So I guess Randy's not dead. He's just like in some other quantum state. Gonna let this run slowly. I wonder if I'm going to be toward that little spike of cycle count up higher. Probably, because this is not dissimilar to the thing I did with the thing I didn't really want to compare with. All right, there's the random test. Whoa, whoa. Randy, do you see it? Yep, I can see the gate open now. I thought corrupting the machine was going to stop the gate. I don't know. Gate looks open. This is more messed up than I could have imagined. Wait, there it goes. The gate is collapsing. Okay, so this is Randy. I recognize the style. Are we safe here? Just hang on. I feel really strange. The TIS-100s we found are the ones we messed up. What? It's working. We formed a causal loop. We're using ourselves to create this. This is... wow. They're scattering. The gate was disrupted. We did it. You did? So... how do we get back now? I'm afraid there may not be a way, Mosley. Okay, so this is Carol. We're here forever? It's already happened. We sent the TIS-100s back in time to ourselves to stop the gate. I can't believe this. I don't mind. I never took too much to our universe anyway. Randy's happy to be here. What do we do now? Float in between worlds forever? It's where we've always been, in a way. I hope someone hears about us at some point. I don't expect our story will become known. No evidence it ever occurred. Randy's TIS-100 is still out there, isn't it? I'm using it right now. I left it in my garage. I doubt anyone would find it and put it back together and find all this. People can be surprising sometimes. Well, if anyone is reading this, hi. Hi, Carol. Hi. Hi! Oh, there it goes. Okay, that was an ending. Not quite what I was expecting, but perfectly satisfactory. All right. And that is TIS-100. I did all the puzzles. Wasn't 100% happy with my solution for all of them, but I did do all of them. Just out of curiosity, let's peek at this. The heck? How does... oh, here we go. Ooh! Oh, Lua, I see. Oh, okay, so this is how puzzles are made. Name, description, get streams. Gotcha. Okay, so just... okay, neat. Oh, compute memory damaged. All right. Well, this looks extremely straightforward. All right, so that's how you write puzzles for this game. I understand. Okay, not much to it. Neat! All right. What a wonderful game. I have some wrap-up notes. Let me get them organized. All right, my notes are just a big pile of disorganized ramblings, so that's what's going to come out of my mouth, I guess. So, this was one of my favorite LPs that I've ever done, honestly. As an LP, it's a super weird one. It's a strange format. But, like, as far as games that are up my alley, this is about as up my alley as you can get. Like, it's a very niche game, but when you target a small niche and happen to hit that exactly, it's just that much more amazing for those of us who happen to fit within that that small space. So yeah, this is a game very, very much for me. Yeah, figuring out how to do it as an LP was interesting. It helps me. I feel like I'm a little bit better at explaining my thought process of what I'm doing when I'm programming now. That I've gone through this exercise. So that helps me in other ways than just playing this. So many years ago, I used to play with small esoteric programming languages for fun. Just write some sort of hello world and maybe a couple of other things in various weird programming languages just to try them out. And this takes, this instruction set is essentially its own tiny esoteric programming language and turns it into an entire game full of puzzles. This should totally be done for more languages. I love this. Like just this format of, here's a challenge, here's some simple input and output and an operation you have to implement. I mean, I know coding challenges like this exist online in places, but, formatting this as a full-blown video game with, a story, which honestly was one of its weak points. This doesn't feel like it needed the story. I appreciated that it was there. It was an extra thing to pay attention to, but for the mechanics to work, the story is just completely unnecessary. So it's just kind of a nice little bonus. Anyway, yeah, so having a full-blown video game formatted as programming challenges in an esoteric language was just the most perfect thing for me. Right up until Baba Is You started, I was surprised to see that this was the most watched of its contemporaries on my channel. So yeah, apparently this worked better as an LP than I thought it did. A lot of people were interested. So question, for those of you who watched all the way through this. For other programmers, how was this? For non-programmers, did I explain my thought process well? Could you follow what I was doing? Did you just sort of trail off after a while, after things got too complicated and I stopped explaining so thoroughly? I don't know. I'm not sure how well I presented this to various groups. I mean, like, the target audience for this LP would certainly be other programmers or people who are interested in this and, are able to follow along, or, people who have played this game before, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, just curious how well this worked for any of you who happen to watch it. So the only other thing I played that could at all be comparable to this would be Else Heartbreak, the other programming game that I did. This one, that was more of a sandbox game. What I felt like it lacked was the structure and, like, I guess extrinsic motivation for writing programs. Like, I only wrote a few not completely trivial programs in that language. Couldn't really write any Sprack right now if I wanted to. That was the name of the language if you didn't watch that LP. It was a good LP, I think. A little messy, very experimental, both in terms of the game I was playing and the formats, but I enjoyed it. But as a programming game, this is obviously vastly superior. Yeah, so this was super cool. Right, so I feel like even though this is a fictional assembly language, I think the concepts map pretty well to real assembly languages. I've never written any assembly code in any real capacity, more than like a couple of lines just to try it out once. And I didn't feel like I understood much of anything from there. But I feel like what I've learned here has given me a good foundation of knowledge to go forward and learn a real assembly language. So I'm kind of excited to go and do that at some point and play with it. And this has also given me an appreciation for, so C is my preferred language whenever I'm writing real code. And I always found it a little weird that people called it a high-level language, but now that I've seen this, I have much more of an appreciation for what happens at the lower level of a computer, even though this is fictitious. But I can bridge the gap. I can understand what the fictional parts of this are and how those map to a real CPU. And yeah, there was that one puzzle. It was sequence mode calculator? That's the one, where I actually went off and wrote what I wanted to do in a high-level pseudo language, basically C, with a couple of syntactic additions, just to organize my thoughts. And yeah, that was also a good exercise just for appreciating like how this code could perhaps be turned into machine code, and then I implement it in machine code or assembly or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, yeah, so like this let me feel kind of like a pioneer. Like I was part of the birth of computing, inventing things from scratch. Back when CPUs couldn't do very much, you had these extreme constraints and had to figure out how to get work done within them. Because, I want to I want to divide a number in any modern environment. You just say number / other number, and you're done. You don't get to do this entire exercise of like, well, what does it actually mean to divide? How could you implement that at a lower level if you just have add, subtract, and... Well, you don't even have compare. You have add, subtract, and compare to 0. So you have to subtract if you want to... Anyway, it's so cool. Anyway, I loved this. This was one of my favorite games in a long time, and I'm super glad it was recommended to me so many times, so I'd finally consider it. And people voted for it. So yes, thank you for giving me the gift of making me play this game, because it was kind of the best. All right. And also, this has been in a race to finish, in a race with the Odyssey to finish at the same time. The last episode of the Odyssey just might go up in 2 days, if it doesn't throw too many curveballs my way. Hard to say. So I might have tied those two up perfectly. All right, cool. Well, this was super great. Glad to have had you all along for the ride, and I'll see you again for something else.